Hello and welcome to Race for the White House, a show where we get you the latest from the US election. Now, it was a big night for Donald Trump and Kamala Harris as both of them clashed in a fiery debate. Both the candidates engaged in a fast-paced and occasionally angry back and forth throughout the 90-minute presidential exchange. So, on today's show, we'll tell you what the key outcomes from the debate, as the conservative camp is now alleging that the debate was biased against the former president. Also on the show, we'll tell you the shocking endorsement from pop star Taylor Swift that came immediately after the debate. All of this and much more, so let's get started. It's safe to say that after last night's debate, Democrats across the country heaved a sigh of relief. Now, this was the role reversal that liberals were hoping for. Trump and Harris entered the debate deadlocked in the polls and a deeply polarized nation. By any reasonable metric, Harris soundly defeated the former president by demonstrating superior knowledge of her opponent's psychology. Now, Harris figured out exactly how to get Trump angry, how to trick him into going off the course, and how to keep the debate on favorable terrain. You should know that the winner of the debate isn't just determined by what happens on stage. They're determined by the social media war that ensues afterwards. Now, the narrative of who won gets endlessly discussed in the days after the debate. And in this case, that narrative is that Harris has won the debate. For a strong performance, Trump needed to do a few things. He needed to remain focused on tying Harris to the Biden administration's unpopular record on the economy, immigration, and foreign policy. And he needed to avoid his weakest issues, abortion and the infamous January 6 riots. But he mostly failed to do these things. Where Harris presented clear and direct policies on economy, immigration, abortion, Trump delivered some old remarks. He spoke about migrant crime, claims about late-term abortion, inflation, his criminal trials, and the 2020 election. Now, these are the same topics that he brings up in press conferences and rallies. Many might say that Trump appeared unprepared in this debate. In fact, at multiple points during the debate, Harris laughed, rolled her eyes, and stared intensely as Trump answered questions. In the middle of the debate, Harris baited the former president by mentioning the size of his rallies, a sore spot for Donald Trump. The former president immediately used his time to assert his rallies were bigger and better than Harris. Allies of the former president quickly took to social media after the debate to saying that he was treated unfairly by the moderators. Many alleged that the hosts fact-checked on Trump more than they did on Harris. However, there were some questionable moments for Harris as well. It was clear that she did not want to talk about inflation, not wanting to get drawn into a discussion about Biden's record. If this was a strategy, then it played out well for Harris. It's too early to say how much the debate will impact the race at large. Now, the debate will likely generate more social media fodder than voters. But when you cut the noise, the election really comes down to a handful of big topics for most Americans. And these issues are economy, immigration, abortion, healthcare, and foreign policy. Now, running the briefest presidential campaign in modern history of the US, the stakes were really high for Harris. Voters have seen little of her so far, and particularly in unscripted and high-pressure settings like a debate. And given that background, she definitely delivered a strong performance that she needed at this point. Moving on now, so both Harris and Trump set out some contrasting visions for the future of the United States. The pair clashed on several issues, including immigration, abortion, economy, and so much more. Now, during the 90-minute war of words, both the candidates made a lot of claims and assumptions. But were all of them true? Or is it just a narrative being created to garner votes and throw shade at each other? Let's take a look. Now, during the debate, Trump claimed that crime and violence in the US is spiraling out of control. Trump also claimed that migrants are turning up in record numbers at the US-Mexico border. Trump says almost 21 million migrants are turning up at the border every month. Now, it is true that migrants are trying to cross the US-Mexico border in record numbers, but the number isn't close to what is mentioned by Donald Trump. Customs and Border Protection has encountered over 8 million migrants at the southern border since Biden took office in 2021. Now, you should know that some migrants cross the border illegally multiple times, so the numbers may be disputed in the official record as well. And this claim made by Trump is completely false. Now moving over to Trump's claim that Haitian migrants are eating dogs and pets in Ohio's Springfield.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
Now, this was the claim which was disputed by one of the moderators, and officials in Springfield say that they have not received any credible reports of Haitian immigrants actually abducting and eating pets. These claims have been made viral on social media by Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance. So this claim by Trump is also not true. On the other hand, Harris has also claimed that no member of the US Army is in active duty in a combat zone around the world. Now, this is a common administration talking point, but thousands of troops in Iraq and on the Syrian border are still in very dangerous terrain. US troops died in Jordan in January on a base that keeps watch over the war with ISIS in Syria. So this claim again on part of the Harris is not true. And finally, Trump also claimed that he had no inflation when he was the president and that US is witnessing the highest inflation in recorded history. But is this claim true? Well, inflation did soar to a 4-decade high of about 9.1% in 2022, according to the Consumer Price Index. But while inflation has since fallen to about 2.9% as of July this year. So while prices are a source of frustration for many Americans, the average worker has more buying power today than she did before the pandemic. Since February 2020, consumer prices have also risen by about 21.6%, while average wages have risen to about 23%. However, wage gains have been outpacing price increases for over a year now, so the gap should be eventually closed. So this claim can be termed as partially true. Donald Trump was knocked on his heels after squaring off against his new Democratic opponent. And then came Taylor Swift, who delivered her own version of a knockout. Now, the pop icon has announced her endorsement for Kamala Harris just after the conclusion of presidential debate. Swift took to Instagram, activating her army of Swifties to head to the polls in November. In a post, Swift expressed her admiration for Harris, calling her a steady-handed and gifted leader. Now, in a post that Taylor Swift shared on Instagram, she said that she has watched the debate and done her own research into which candidate would be voting for. Taylor also included a playful yet pointed jab in her post, signing off as the childless cat lady. Now, this is in a reference to a previous comment made by GOP vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance about prominent Democrats without children. However, Swift's post didn't go unnoticed by the conservative camp. Tesla CEO Elon Musk took a pot shot on Twist, saying that, "I will give you a child and guard your cats with my life." And this is not the first time that the singer-songwriter has spoken for a Democratic candidate. She also endorsed Biden in the 2020 election and urged her fans to support Democrats in the 2018 midterms. Swift was also a vocal critic of Trump during his presidency surrounding the nationwide protests over the murder of George Floyd. Now, many believe that Swift's endorsement could impact on voter registration. The singer has about 283 million followers on Instagram, and her endorsement has received more than 4.5 million likes on Instagram in just less than 3 hours. Moving on now, millions of Americans watch the much-anticipated debate from their TV sets or watch parties in bars and clubs. Now, this might possibly be the only debate that voters will get to see before going to the polls. And we're proud to say that we are the only news channel from India that covered the debate from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia. Our White House correspondent Rohit Sharma spoke to some of the journalists present there and weighed in on who was the winner from the debate. Take a look.
We're here at the media center, which is right next to the spin room. The debate is over. Most people have filed their stories, and most of the journalists are about to leave right now. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to speak to some of these journalists to see who they think won this debate. So I'm going to turn the camera over to them and ask you, ma'am, in your opinion, who won the debate tonight? Oopsie, got to do it again.
Right. You going to do your preluding into?
I don't know how that came out, but I'll just record yours first because you got to. So, who do you think won the debate tonight?
Look, I think Kamala Harris won. I think she needed to come across calm and presidential, and I think she did just that from the very start. I think she got underneath Donald Trump's skin and she irked him, and we saw him spiral and start to unravel. I do think, and I'm already hearing from Republican people here in the spin room that they felt like the moderators helped Kamala Harris, that they assisted, that this was some sort of pile-on. That is the line that they are trotting out. But look, I think she put in a really impressive effort. The question is, out of all the undecided voters, are they watching tonight, and does this debate have an impact?
Well, we'll have to wait and watch. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for helping me throughout the night tonight. We'll walk over to another Australian gentleman here. The only question I have for you, sir, is who do you think won the debate?
Kamala Harris.
What do you
got to say?
Why do you think she won the debate?
Because she's a prosecutor and she just stripped him there.
Okay, all right. So we're trying to walk around and ask some other people, some of the other journalists who were here. And ma'am, would you mind telling us who, in your opinion, won the debate? You can't. Okay, that's fine. So obviously, some journalists cannot do that. We'll still try to walk around and ask people who they think won the debate. It is a very interesting take from most of the people around here, and we'll see if some other people want to talk here about the debate. Sir, ma'am, can you talk about, just seeking an opinion about who do you think won the debate? Yeah. You don't speak English? Who did good, Trump or Kamala? Okay, no, thanks for fine. So, yeah, a lot of people obviously not want to disclose their opinions. Again, this is a media spin room, so people want to keep to themselves. We'll still try to walk around and ask some people, I think, on this side of the area, and this is also giving you a good view of how big the media center was, and see if we can also ask, ma'am, give a second. Who do you think won the debate?
I'm sorry, I'm just in.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry. Can you tell us who do you think won the debate? No? Who do you think won the debate, ma'am? No? Okay, that's fine. So most people, as you can see, are busy filing their stories and whatnot, and not really wanting to talk. And we'll give it one more shot right here at this table, and see if they want to talk about it. But as you could see, from two people that we've spoken to, they think Kamala Harris won the debate. Hello, ma'am. Just trying to get a reaction. Who do you think won the debate?
Am I supposed to answer this? I think that Harris won the debate. Yeah.
Sir, who do you think won the debate?
I think that most people who watched the debate saw a Kamala Harris that was on the offense versus Donald Trump, who was on defense. In that term, Kamala Harris probably won the debate, although Donald Trump is known to have supporters who do not deflect from him.
Yeah.
Which means that even though she might have won this debate, is not sure this will actually have an effect or a big effect on who people are voting.
Okay. And sir, if I were to ask you, just out of curiosity, I know you're wrapping things up here, who do you think won the debate?
I think you need to ask the voters. I mean, Republicans will say Republicans and Democrats will say Democrats.
Well, what's your opinion? Well, whatever you saw tonight, this media center, very simple, basic question.
I think Harris used her smile and her age.
Smile. Okay, all right. So that's very well said. So Kamala Harris, they're saying, use her smile and age to win this debate. That's mostly everybody that we've talked to here off the record as well. I think a lot of people are saying the exact same thing, that it was Kamala Harris who won this debate. This is Rohit Sharma for India Today Global here at the Presidential Debate Center in Philadelphia.
Now, time to get you some updates from the political landscape in the US that you might have missed. Less than an hour after the presidential debate, Kamala Harris's campaign has called for another match with Donald Trump. Now, the campaign put out an email touting her performance at the debate and blasting Trump for his responses and attitude. However, Trump appeared less inclined to participate in the proposed second debate, although discussions are on for a second debate in October. Next up, Pro-Palestinian protesters were demonstrating outside the debate venue in Philadelphia ahead of the presidential debate. Now, barricades were erected around the National Constitution Center, and as the debate proceeded inside, police and protesters clashed outside the venue. Authorities have said that at least 3 of the agitators have been detained. And at last, soon after wrapping her debate, Kamala Harris held a surprise watch party on Philadelphia's Cherry Street Pier. Now, Harris expressed confidence and even calling it a good day, but reminded the crowd that still 56 days remain until the election. Joined by her husband, Douglas Emhoff, Harris thanked attendees for their efforts and stressed on the importance of winning Pennsylvania. Now, hours before Donald Trump took the stage for a presidential debate, audience got to see a fictional glimpse of him as his younger self. Now, the official trailer for the Trump's biopic film, The Apprentice, was released. The film depicts Trump's relationship with lawyer Roy Cohn, who advises Trump that there are only killers and losers in the world. Take a look at this trailer as we leave you with these visuals.
Yes.
Hello, this is Donald Trump from Mr. Cohn. Thank you so much.
Donald who?
1, 2, 3, 4!
Roy Cohn, nice to meet you.
The Roy Cohn, you're brutal.
Guilty as charged.
How do you always win?
There's rules. The first rule is attack, attack, attack.
It's gonna be the finest building in the city, maybe the country, in the world.
Rule 2, admit nothing, deny everything.
There's never been anything like this, of this magnitude, this quality. Ooh, cheese balls over here.
What are you doing?
You want one?
No, it looks totally disgusting.
Cheese balls.
Rule 3, no matter what happens, you claim victory and never admit defeat. You have to be willing to do anything to anyone to win. You have a big ass. You gotta work on that.
Your face looked like an orange.
Attack, attack, attack.
Deny everything, admit nothing.
Never admit defeat.
What if you lost your fortune today?
Well, then maybe I'll run for president, I don't know.
I say, if you're indicted, you're invited.
So that's all we have for you in this edition of Race for the White House. Stay tuned to India Today Global as we continue to bring you more updates on US elections.